Hello and welcome to the Growing Green podcast. Your host, Jeremiah Jennings, is the owner of Growing Green Landscapes in Birmingham, Alabama, and has a passion for growing the entrepreneurship community for those who are young in business. Being a business owner isn't easy, especially in the early years, and that's why in this show we dive into a wide range of topics covering all the challenges small business owners deal with. Even if your company is generating $1 million or more, the stories from our great guest and Jeremiah's own firsthand experiences will propel your business forward. And now, here's your host, Jeremiah Jennings.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings, and I could not be more excited to be coming to you today with another fresh new episode for you. And this is a returning guest that is actually on within like the first month of the podcast. It's crazy how long ago it's been. We have developed a good friendship over the last couple of years, and I look forward to the years to come, seeing where we all end up. And it's just, we talk about it on the show all the time, such a great community and relationships that we're building here in the green industry. And so it's just a fantastic community to be a part of. I could not be more grateful for each and every one of you out there who listen and support the show, and then also just like share it to your friends and get them involved. And then when we get messages, just like, listen to the show today, that was great, that's fantastic. Like that is what the show is about to me. And then just building relationships along the way. That's what we're here for. We're just trying to educate and help and be relatable, because there's a lot of guys going through a lot of things right now that other people are. And sometimes you think you're the only one, and then you listen to somebody else talk about it, and you think, wow, I'm not the only one. And then they talk about it, and then somebody else starts talking about it, and you realize, hey, there's actually a whole group of us who are going through the same stuff, and you can actually propel your business in pretty good ways if you get around people who are further along in business than you, but then also the ones that are going through the same stages, and they can help you work through them. So in today's show, I just want to go ahead and hop into it and bring him on in. We have Jamie Feie from Supreme Scapes up in Ohio, and Jamie's been on the show back in the beginning, like I said, and we had to get you back on because I go, like, all of our beginning, and it's not about downloads or numbers or anything like that, but it's about value brought, and like, you were one of the most valuable interviews that we've had on the show, and it was like back in the beginning, so the show was still pretty small, and those older episodes don't really get downloaded that much anymore, and I'm like, dude, there's the value in you has to get out there to the masses. So wanted to get him back on, and it's been 2 years since the show, so need to hear a business catch up and a life update. So let's just bring him in. Jamie, how you doing tonight, buddy?
What's going on, man?
Nothing
doing
much.
All right.
You just sound like you're sitting back watching the sunset or something.
I am. I am just sitting at the shop. We having a nice night. The guys are all in, and we're winding down.
I mean, let's just get into it, dude. Like, life just sounds good right now, and it sounds like it's like life's going good for you. I mean, what is life for you right now? I'm sure it's crazy and stressful and things like that, just because coming out of spring rush, and you're still a business owner and things. But I mean, it sounds like you're in a good spot, buddy. I mean, what's been going on? Catch us up on Supreme Scapes and the fees.
Yeah, man. So, gosh, the last 2 years have been just a whirlwind of growth, whether we wanted it or not. I think the decisions that we made over the last couple of years have really gotten us to this point. And I mean, I'm looking around now. We live on the same property. I guess I'll explain. So we started the business in 2012. I started the business in 2012, just cutting grass, and then we've kind of scaled. We still cut grass, still do maintenance and all kinds of stuff like that, but we're a full design, build, maintain company. So we're doing pretty lavish outdoor hardscapes, everything from that all the way down to pulling weeds still. So we love to stay involved in the entire green industry. We've got no plans of exiting any service that we're offering right now. Everything's profitable, and the guys enjoy it. So yeah, we really humble beginnings. I started out of my parents' garage, and we've just rented some commercial space, and then we had these dreams of purchasing a property, my wife and I, excuse me, and living on, at least short term, living on the property, and which so many guys have done. I've seen so many guys doing this at a very, very good level. seeing the way that they've laid their properties out and the way that we have ours laid out. And so we bought we rented some commercial space, realized the expense with that, and just kind of the landlockedness of that. We couldn't really expand. Our landlord was great. He ran a landscape business. He was such a great mentor to us. But he was always kind of pushing us out the door saying, you guys need to expand and get a piece of land if it works financially. So we did. We went on the hunt. We found a lot of really not ideal properties. So it was a long search, but we ended up finding this piece of property that was it was really an interesting God thing, because we couldn't understand why this property was available and no other business on this strip here. We call it the landscape Mecca. It's literally one road just east of downtown Cincinnati, and it's maybe like 20 minutes from downtown. And there are, I don't know, 10, 15 qualified landscaping businesses on this street, some of which are large business owners that could just use the land for storage. So it's pretty cool. We bought this 1890s farmhouse, and we were blessed to be able to live in our house while we renovated it. So we spent, 6 months or so. We purchased it and then spent about 6 months doing a bunch of, touch-up painting and all kinds of stuff, getting it ready. And then we moved in, and it had a 24 by 32 pole barn style garage, super tiny, little, no man door, just a garage door. And so we packed that thing full with every square inch that we could fit, because we had come from a larger commercial facility that we had plenty of space, at least garage space. The parking situation got pretty tight. We were sharing the lot with another company. So, so we moved in, we brought everything over here, started just pushing gravel everywhere. We've got like an ocean of gravel now. It's almost like a football field that we've just pushed out and kind of reclaimed the land, cut back all the trees, and just carved out this 2 acres to be this flat, workable site for us. And so we're grooving, and I think I maybe have mentioned this to you. I've talked to a couple other people about it. But a year and a half ago, my son's a year and a half now. So 4 days after he was born, January 22nd of 2022, I look outside at 10 o'clock at night, and my garage is on fire. Or I couldn't even see flames. I just look out there, and I heard this. The reason I got up is I heard this popping and snapping, and I'm looking out at the trucks, and I'm like, is somebody breaking the windows? Are they trying to break in the trucks? Or I don't know what was going on. So I'm looking out, and the trucks are over here on the left, and then I pan over to the right, and I look, and there's 40 feet of smoke coming out of the garage, and like a subtle glow behind the garage door. And I just very calmly, I don't know how I did that, but very calmly called 911. They got over here within like 5 minutes, and it was just a total loss. And I get a little bit, I can feel my heart pumping right now, because just that situation was very just unsettling. It was the last 12 years of accumulation of tools, and if you know what it's like having every tool you ever needed, and you know exactly where it is, and then to just have that all ripped away from you, it's pretty devastating. So that is kind of how we. It was a blessing. Now that I'm looking at what we've been able to accomplish with the thankfully the insurance money. But yeah, that was probably the biggest challenge I've ever had to face in our entire existence as a company. The cultural things, the equipment breakdowns, all that stuff paled in comparison to rebuilding from scratch, while also trying to maintain sales and growth and culture and all this stuff. That was I would say, a more high pressured situation than when we were just, two guys in a truck with a 5x7 trailer. We had to really keep our business moving through those struggles. So luckily, we were able to buy the property next door. Prior to the garage fire, we were planning on expanding, and so we had a couple that lived next door. And tragically, the husband had passed away, and so we helped the wife get into a stable living situation and purchase her house and give her some cash so she could kind of, move on with her life. And so we ended up using their house as our garage for almost a year and a half. And it was literally, we just took their entire house, ripped everything out, took all the drywall out, ripped everything out. And we used their house as our garage for like a year. So that was a really interesting time period. We have the best team that was able to just roll with that. It was very awkward, very clunky, bringing wheelbarrows and rakes and weed whackers and stuff all through a door. No garage to do maintenance in, so we're doing oil changes, laying on a gravel parking lot, which a lot of guys are doing now. So I feel that. I feel that for sure.
Yeah, that's
but
insane.
Yeah, it's wild. I can go on and on and on of the story of building this shop out, but yeah, basically that catapulted us into building this 40 by 70 garage that is just a dream come true at this point. That's, we post a little bit on Instagram, but yeah, man, it's just a wild ride that we are. I feel a little bit like I caught the carrot that I was chasing after, and I'm kind of in my dream now, and I'm trying to figure out the next. I know the next like couple of steps of building a few more garages and all that stuff. But as far as like my role, and we've just got the best guys right now. I mean, they just show up every day, no issues. They come and work hard and they laugh, and I don't know, man. Like you said, I feel like we're in the good days right now, and it's a little surreal.
Well, it's not to say it hasn't come without trials. I think that we've already talked about. You've already mentioned that and kind of told that story. I did know about the shop fire. Wanted to get into that a little bit. What all was like when you say total loss? Did you have like mowers and stuff in there? Like what was like your biggest piece of equipment or whatever that you lost?
So the most sentimental piece of equipment that I lost was my first lawnmower that I can't get replaced, obviously.
Yeah.
So that brought a tear to my eye. But dude, we bought a brand new, what was it? A Toro TX MB mud buggy 2500 or whatever.
Oh my goodness.
The swivel buggy, the whole, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was probably the biggest loss. We parked that thing in there that night. And luckily, I mean, we pulled our TX 1000 out. We pulled our ATV out. It was in the middle of winter. And for just some reason, we were actually flipping our hardscape trailer. We pulled all the pack out. We were building new shelves and everything. So we pulled all the equipment out to make room for some of that stuff that we were doing. But yeah, man, we lost a Weber CR6 compactor, the mud buggy, a TX 525. We did lose that dingo. And then just all the miscellaneous
That's the stuff. Like those are your big things, but like you get down to just like shovels, rakes, screwdrivers, socket sets, like all of the stuff that goes into it.
The biggest thing I was missing, like initially, was my bolt bowl. You know that like container that just has everything you need.
Oh yeah.
Every nut washer that you accumulate over 10 years.
Yep.
That was the biggest thing I was missing, because the inconvenience of having to go and find whatever that screw or whatever it is that you need to just fix something really quick.
Yep.
Was so inconvenient.
Yeah.
So inconvenient.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Well, I mean, I guess you just kind of sit back. You said you did do it calmly. 4 days after your son is born, that's a little crazy. But I think you look at it and you can sit back and say, well, just praise God it's the shop and not our house. Like,
yeah, nobody got hurt.
It gives you perspective. Like, there weren't guys in there working. There's a lot of different ways you can look at that. And I think it sounds like you handled it the right way, and now the company's growing and flourishing after that. And that's actually some of the greatest triumphs come after the biggest trials. And we actually have some friends who lost their whole apartment. They lost everything to a fire, and now they're doing great. They were able to actually end up fixing up that apartment. Now it's a rental for them, and it's their first piece of real estate. And now life is good. But you don't know in the middle of that, and that's like, I feel like you could. What would you say to somebody? It's getting kind of deep into the show, but what would you say to somebody who's going through some type of trial right now? Because, like you said, the shop it's not a death. It's not nobody died, nobody got injured, but it is like that is everything you worked for the past 10 plus years. Like everything that you had was like in that shop. Like that was a huge thing for y'all. You just bought that house and the land, and that was where y'all are growing out of. And then you just get punched in the gut. What is some advice you would give to somebody going through some type of trial like that, whether it be business or life or anything like that along the way? Because I know that y'all have had like your own trials along the way, just in marriage, and it's just like anybody has. So like you're not some random like freak of normal human. Like you are like everyone else, and so everyone else is just like, how do you get through that?
Yeah. So I would say I'm a little more capable than the average person, or just different than the average person on handling adversity like that. I'm very atypical when it comes to fleshing out those emotions and, handling a situation in maybe a more typical emotionally charged, explosive way. I had a few tears, but I think that the thing that the guys appreciated the most, and what I've kind of learned from being in business this long, is the resiliency of showing strength in being a leader. One of the guys specifically took it really hard. He took it really hard. He was on board. He was sold for the Supreme Scapes dream and growing, and he had spent so much time organizing the garage and, thinking about efficiency and all this stuff. And I could tell his spirit was just crushed a little bit. And he said that the way that I handled it, not to toot my own horn, but just the way that I handled it for him, showing him strength of, this was all my stuff. This wasn't his stuff.
Yeah.
This wasn't his dream that was, literally going up in flames. He said that was a very pivotal point in his mind when he was processing through this. Is, he saw that Jake and I were being very strong through that situation, and so he didn't have anywhere to go but to just be strong and follow our leadership through that. So to answer your question, I would say if anybody is going through something, don't not be like human. Like, I definitely expressed sadness and disappointment and all those things, but there was like okay, let's go to work mentality. It's time to rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Almost immediately.
Yeah. You just go, you go in there and you clean up and you just move on to the next day. And I guess that's part of it.
Yeah, that's like kind of, it goes along with, like, we do personality tests when we hire people, and I'm very red, which is one of the characteristics is I'm good under pressure and good handling troublesome situations. So these guys, when luckily nobody's gotten hurt in quite some time, but if somebody gets hurt, they're calling me, not their project manager or anybody else, because I just straight facts. Like, okay, we need to do this, this, and this, mitigate this risk, help that, fix this, fix that. And I think that's a good way to handle it. If you're going through some adversity, that's buckle down. Yes, it's okay to feel emotion, but you have a lot of stuff to do to get through that. A lot of things to focus on to get through that.
Yeah.
Hard time.
Yeah, no, I think the takeaway, one of the major takeaways there is what you said about like handling it and being a leader for your team. That's one thing that I've learned is when you start bringing on more guys, you get past one employee and you get into two full time, and then you start bringing a third on part time, and that's where we're at right now. And it's like it's more important than ever for me to be a leader for our company. I have to be embodying and showing the culture that we want to have, everything that I want them to do, I have to be doing personally. And like if you don't want them to get down and out about the shop being burned down, then you can't do that. Like whether it's your stuff or their stuff or not, like you have to be the example.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. That's good. I didn't mean to get so deep so soon, but that's just that's a powerful story there that you bounce back and now you're rocking and rolling and some would say better than ever. So I mean, let's hop into the actual like landscaping business now. I mean, what's going on? How many guys are you rocking? What does the team culture look like? How have you worked yourself where you're not even really in the field much? You're in a sales role totally for the most part. So just catch us up on the business, man. How's it looking for you this time of year?
Yeah. So let's see, June. June. Oh, I swallowed a bug.
That's real life right there. That is real life.
I got a mosquito lamp next to me. I was supposed to be onto that, but I think I swallowed one. Yeah, so it's really interesting right now for me personally because I do own this business, and my wife's taken a very serious leadership role alongside me in this with a lot of the administrative work, marketing work, organizational, just everything from an organization perspective, running numbers. God, Synced Up has been such a blessing in that I could have a whole conversation. I could talk for a couple hours on that with you, on what Synced Up has done in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
We literally transitioned in the last 6 months, and it has been a whirlwind of learning curve, but they've been insanely helpful getting us up to speed. So yeah, that I would say at this point we have the correct number of guys. We've been all the way up to 18 laborers before. That was a little chaotic. I would say the profit, the gross sales and profit is the biggest thing that we've been watching this year, especially with Synced Up. It kind of forces you to. There's really no way to cheat Synced Up. And so we did a strategic letting go of some laborers over the last 2 years. We just kind of identified our high performers, and so we are down to 8 guys. We just hired one guy to hop on the landscape crew. So we're down to 8 field laborers, a full-time project manager who runs those 3 crews, gets them pretty much everything that they need, the plans, the execution on whatever miscellaneous tasks that they have questions on, or running equipment, all that kind of stuff. So he, at this point, is the star of the show, I would say. He's in control of the daily production, making sure that the guys are filling out their clipboards in the morning, cleaning their trucks out every Monday, all that stuff. So he kind of runs the company in terms of getting dollars in the door and mulch on the ground. So that's been really, really awesome. We've got a full-time bookkeeper, a full-time or a part-time assistant who helps out with tons of miscellaneous office tasks and just keeping Lucy and I organized, keeping Jake organized. She's super helpful. And then my wife, Lucy, does, again, a lot of the marketing and organizational things and keeping us. She basically does a ton of, she takes the data from Synced Up and does a separate spreadsheet to break the data into the information that we can digest and use to make decisions, if that makes sense. Because Synced Up only has so many categories and QuickBooks only has so many categories, and we want to know more information. I'd say that's probably the one thing we miss about LMN is the reporting was so powerful that we could make some pretty seriously informed decisions based on that to truly move the needle. We could tune the dials and make the profit needle change in our favor based on knowing unbillable time or, whatever the number is. So I don't think we would be here, just a shout out there, I don't think we would be here without knowing our numbers and then knowing our Lucy numbers. She's really bringing a lot to the table with that. But yeah, man, we're just doing it. We're just doing mulch jobs and doing patios and cutting grass and pulling weeds and the whole green industry. We love it.
How have you trained guys? This is a question I like asking people who, and we might have had this the first time we talked, but guys that are running decent to mid to large size companies. You have above 5 employees, like for a green industry company that's a small, like one owner company. I feel like you're mid to large size here. I guess in the grand scheme of things, if you're looking at Brightview, then yeah, you're small, and I'm a mouse. Like it's all relative. But you know what I'm saying. Everybody knows what I'm saying. You've got guys on the field that are operating without you there. Have you hired more qualified people than yourself? Did you learn how to do all the work and train guys up? What has that whole process been for you? And if it's been one or the other, tell like what the benefits of it are.
Yeah. So we've definitely done on-the-job training and promoted from within. I would say, was it 2023, 9 years ago, we made a shift into doing those run-of-the-mill certifications at your local paver place. So Redding Rock is a paver company that we have here, and they would put on different certifications for installing retaining walls, installing paver patios, go into ADS, do their drainage system training. So we decided to do that early on a whim. Like we just wanted to know, specifically me and one other guy that he's no longer with us, but we were hungry for industry knowledge on how to do this thing and how to get it to the point where we knew what we were talking about. Because when you go and talk with someone about whatever their problem is that you're trying to solve, you want to know, you want to be confident in your sales process and know what the heck you're talking about. So our entire employee training program has been based off of that, like very loosely in the beginning. And then I think we talked about this. We had a phenomenal business coach come in and talk with us about all kinds of different processes that he came up with that pretty much suits any service business. So he works with a plumbing company. They were doing like $1 million. He took them to $5 million in a couple of years, re-outfitted their entire employee handbook, their program, just everything that they were doing. And so he came on board with us, super expensive. So we were only able to have him for like a year or two. But he changed our entire thought process on how we should interact with our employees, how we should craft our culture, how we should train our employees, how we should reprimand our employees, the whole nine. And so we've got a model very loosely to keep it surface level for you. It's called train, test, trust. Those are the 3 major categories. So when we are training somebody, it is hands-on, especially even if they've told us in the interview they've got 6 years of landscape experience. They might know how to edge a bed, but we don't know that they know how to edge a bed our way. And so train, test, trust, the thought behind that is when you're training somebody, your manager, whether that's the foreman or the project manager above the foreman, one of those 2 guys is going to be training the new employee hands-on, literally standing behind them saying, okay, show me how to edge a bed. If you do it perfectly, heck yeah, everybody wins. If I need to show you how to do something, I will slow down. We will eat the cost on the job, and we will train you until you do it right, because we know 6 months from now, you're going to be slaying it right next to us, bumping shoulders with us. So, as soon as they get out of this training, then we can test them. We can go, okay, you go prune all those bushes and edge that bed, or you go make all those paver cuts and set that retaining wall. I'm going to go over here and work on this. I'm going to test you on this. I'm going to come back periodically and say, hey, how are you doing? Okay, looks good. Hey, tweak this little thing here. Overall, doing great. Good job. And then once they're in the trust category, which I would say all but the new hire are in the trust category at this point, they are free to execute on work underneath their foreman's supervision. So it's pretty simple. I guess I don't think about it very often anymore because it's just kind of the way we operate. We don't have a lot of new guys that we're training. But we are training in different ways. So my project manager doesn't have a lot of office experience. So now I'm training him on using his email, using his calendar to do Google invites and Zoom calls and all these different office functions that he doesn't have a lot of training on. So I would say for the most part, we're very big on hiring from within. Promoting from within, giving everyone every single possible training that they need, if we can afford the time and the cost associated with it, so that they can excel in their job and ultimately have a better career trajectory here. We'd love to get everybody into managerial positions who are part of this team. So having multiple crews underneath each one of them would be the goal.
That's fantastic. That's so encouraging. And I believe I would like to hear a little bit more on the coach. Like you said, the coach is super expensive, but at the same time, it sounds like he literally transformed your business. So like, I think I know the answer to this question, but do you think it was worth the investment?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know the answer to that. It's like everything, man. It's like we just invested in this mulch mate, and a lot of people are scared to invest the money because they don't know if the return's going to be there. Or like your dump trailer, for example.
Yeah.
Like we talked for a while about you getting a dump trailer, and now you're on the back end of a dump trailer. And like, tell me in 30 seconds how you feel about that dump trailer now.
I knew it was lunacy before that I didn't have it. It was just like things weren't lining up the right way. But I mean, there's no amount of money that you could pay me to go back to not having one. Like it's just that efficient. Like it just makes like. Do you ever have certain things? This happened to me literally yesterday. Do you ever get something like this? Like you get a new piece of equipment or you get something and something happens like the first day you use it or the second day you use it and you're like, if I didn't have this, I couldn't do this. Like it would not be possible. When just like 24 hours ago, you would have been doing it another way, like another super inefficient way. That happened to me yesterday. Like I was just in a position where I had too big of a load for my other truck. I just bought a new truck, and it's like,
yeah, you did.
If I didn't have that truck 24 hours ago, I would have to make 2 trips to the yard. It would have taken an extra hour of time, and now I'm just like, in 24 hours, I'm just like, okay, wow, I just saved so much money, like just not having to do that. And that's how I feel about the dump trailer. That's a long answer to your question there, but it's like there's no amount of money that you can pay me to take it back.
Yeah, there is an actual dollar value associated with the investment.
Yeah.
There is a return. You just calculated it. A man hour here, a man hour there, whatever. Eventually it gets down to even how many trips you're taking, the tires that you're going to have to replace on the darn thing.
Yep.
So same thing is the mulch mate that we bought. So another huge topic that I don't think small businesses are doing, like, you know, guys that are probably below $500,000 or so, I don't think that they are thinking budget wise, of actually operating under a budget, meaning you've got 10 grand for equipment and truck repair and maintenance for the year. If you are, that's great. Keep doing it, build on it. Think critically about your numbers, run a budget. If you don't know how to get started on a budget, Jeremiah, give them my information. I'm happy to talk with them. So that's a huge thing. And like right now, Lucy is the keeper of our budget and controls the expenses. So we've got a small tools budget that, you know, after the garage fire, we had to blow it up like 3x because we had to replace every single DeWalt tool, every rake and shovel and screwdriver. So we blew that thing out of the water, and now we've kind of recovered from that. And our next investment is going to be a new excavator with an Encon. And my case that I'm trying to sell her on this is just like the mulch mate. I think the first week we saved in production salary, not having an extra 2 guys there. I think we saved like $2,800 or so, $3,000, something like that. And the mulch mate only costs, what it costs. It's not that crazy expensive.
Yeah.
So that type of return, when you're looking at 100% return, meaning you've recovered the cost of the equipment in 1 year, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
Investors are looking to recoup their investment in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And
there's
then
no better place to invest in your own business.
Yeah. So, you just keep in mind that, yes, it's risky, and especially the loan market that we have right now with the interest rates and just, that's, you got to navigate that water. You can't get in hot water. You can't not be able to afford your payment. But, I think Caleb, Almond, and I really agree that productive debt is valuable. You don't go take out a loan on a jet ski. This is very Dave Ramsey. This is elementary.
Yeah.
You don't go take a loan on a jet ski that's not going to produce you income. You go take a loan out, I don't care how much it is, on something that gives you 100% return. Investment advisors are making between 8 and 20%. They're professionals in the market. So, that's my take on investing in a business coach, investing in the right piece of equipment.
It's definitely something that, like you're saying, you have to navigate the waters. You have to do it smart. You have to do it with some guidance along the way. You had this coach guide you. I'm sure you had other mentors you turned to, but I could not be in agreement more. And there's plenty of people that run debt-free models. Good for them. They've done it.
Absolutely.
But I would not be in the position that I'm at in year 5 of my business at 23 years old if I didn't use debt to leverage myself. Like there's no way. Yeah. Like I just closed the largest job that I've done to date this week.
Yeah, buddy.
And there's no chance in my mind that I could not do it if I didn't have the dump trailer and I didn't have the truck that I have now. Like it could not be performed. I guess I could, but I would lose so much profit off having stuff delivered. And that's not to say you don't have stuff delivered. You should still have stuff delivered to the site. So I'm not saying that, but like it's just like I can save money. I can still charge the customer, but I'm saving money by having that stuff in house and just logistics. Like logistics is where you save. It's like you said, where do you save money on things? It's that 1 hour of 1 man hour. Right now, I'm in a position where I need a machine. Like it's a weird. You've been in this point in business. We can have this conversation all day.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about that.
But it's like I'm in a position now. It's like it sucks because you don't want to get overloaded. And I hope guys, I hope you enjoy this. Like this is just us sitting back having a good conversation. I hope you can relate to it. But it's like I just bought the trailer 2 months ago. I bought the truck 2 days ago, and now it's like. I really need a machine, some sort of small skid steer. It's past the point of.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Your machine need is your rental cost. Okay. Do you have
significantly more than a payment? Significantly more than a payment.
Do you have the work booked out to use the machine a few times a week?
Yes, at the moment, yeah.
You could find use for the machine. You could run a
100%.
Yeah, you could run mulch with a dingo or whatever.
Yep.
I think you were talking about dingo, right?
Yep. Just a little dingo.
So you look at the rental costs for the year, and if your rental costs, the money you pay the rental company to do the crazy song and dance, the circus runaround of having
started.
Yep, everybody knows. It's a phase you have to go through, and then you realize that you've spent 10 or 15 grand for the year on the piece of equipment. And that at that point, if you're at that point on a $30,000 machine, if you have spent 50% of the purchase price in rental, you are ready. You will find reasons to use that machine that you can't think of right now because you're not in that space. You will literally find ways, creative ways. It's the human condition. We find something, especially if you're a scrappy entrepreneur, landscaper, you will find a way to Jimmy rig something and carry that thing from here to there because now you have the machine to do it and you've thought critically. You woke up at 3 a.m. and thought, oh, that's how I'm going to do it. So yeah, man, I would say if you run those numbers, then but controlled,
Yeah.
very controlled.
You have to. Like, that's the thing. It's very easy. It would be very easy for me to say, oh, got a nice trailer, got a nice truck. Let's go buy a nice new machine. That's not that's not what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a crazy thing. I love getting other people's opinions because it's true. And and this is why we talk about all the time on the show. Like, no one answer is gonna go across the board because, like, if you're like in my situation. In my situation, I have no rental yards. I have Home Depot, and they have one dingo in their whole inventory. One dingo.
Oh, man. Okay.
So, like, it's like there's no – I could have a job booked out for Thursday, show up on Wednesday to get the machine, hope it's there, hope it's – like 50-50 chance it's there, 50-50 chance it's not. And it's just like I cannot have a $10,000 sod install, sod being delivered Wednesday, and me go to pick the machine up Tuesday evening and it not be there, and that sod – what am I going to do at that point? Like – that can't happen. Yeah. That can't happen. And so, like you're saying, you find a use for machines. I rented a dingo for a week last week because we had 4 jobs we could knock out, and we rented it out for the week, the long term. Use it every day of the week. Literally every day of the week we use it on something. As far as, like, we mulch, but like anything you're transporting, you can use it for. Anything you're lifting, like you can find a way to use it. And so that's not to justify making a bad purchase, but it's like you're saying, like, the amount of logistical time that it saves me not having to run to the yard, being able to go out in my driveway, load the machine on the trailer, and take off to the job site, like, that saves me $150 a day just in time. Like, not having to run 15 minutes to the rental place, do all the contracts, load it up, take it back, bring it home. It's on its own trailer, so you can't even put it on your own trailer. Like, you have to make 3 extra trips. Like, there is no – we can go on and on and on. We don't need to go on this any longer. But it's just like – calculate the costs and see if it's a good investment for you.
Yep. Your business model, make sure it fits for you. If you're anywhere near that tipping point of spending way too much on rental, you got to have some cash aside to float, a dry month.
Yep.
If whatever business stuff happens. So don't go out there without a parachute, but you got to take risks in this current environment.
Do you have any good like book recommendations or just like podcasts or anything like that you would say like has helped you grow the business side of things, like your business, just like knowledge, like you're saying calculated risk, you're talking about learning and building a budget, like those things don't just come naturally to most people. Maybe they do to you, but like, do you have anything that you've read over the years that would just be like a good resource for someone to go look at?
Yeah, so I'm not a big reader. I'm a podcaster.
Yeah, same.
I've probably read, from cover to cover, I've probably read 15 books on my own accord, not including school mandated.
Yeah.
So, no, man, I'm huge on podcasts. I am currently listening to Valuetainment. You know what that one is? Valuetainment podcast?
No.
That is a really interesting. It's Patrick David, I think is his last name, and he is a wonderful. He speaks very calmly on just all the things that we're talking about. He's very calculated. He uses statistics and all of these different supporting factors to really drive his points across. And, he's talking about crazy industries that we have nothing to do with, but those lessons ring true in business, no matter what you're doing. If you're cutting grass for $25 a yard, the business principles still play.
Mm-hmm.
So Valuetainment's been a good one. I listen to a lot of Simon Sinek.
Yeah, that dude's good. That dude's smart.
Simon Sinek, man, he's like a teddy bear almost, but he's like the wisest, softest, funny, he's just got that attractive quality that I think, which is exactly why he's in the position he's in. He knows how to lead people. He knows how to captivate and truly be empathetic in leadership and in business, which is very difficult to do in this hyper Americanized capitalistic society that we're in, So those two, and then of course, Jeffrey Scott, his podcast, Jeffrey Scott.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's good.
Tell everybody, there's probably a lot of people who actually don't know him. Like he's kind of well known in the green industry, but hasn't grown a super huge social following. But he's a very smart dude.
Yeah. So he does the ultimate landscape CEO, I think. And he does a phenomenal job on green industry executive, everything. I can't quite put him in a box. He's got it going on. He does insanely large company coaching, tens of millions. So he's just all over the board. And we've met him. We met him at GIE. We actually went to his, it was called training your number two. And we brought our project manager, who is my number two that I was describing. And we sat in that class. And it was just you listen, you fill out the worksheet, and then you have tons of conversation afterwards about what it meant to go through the principles that he was talking about. So he's got a really good mind for the green industry, just growing your business in the green industry. Really, really good resource.
Yeah, that's good. I was actually in that class as well. I went to that one, and that was a good one. It's exciting to see that guys like that are actually giving back, because there's so many out there that are massive business owners and things, but they don't really they don't just do. It's not that they're not wanting to give back. They just don't do social much, and so people don't get to hear the value that they bring. So, I would say, let me pick your brain on this. See what your thought is. I think go ahead.
Jordan Peterson too. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah. Who doesn't listen to Jordan Peterson? I tell you,
I went and saw him. He came to Cincinnati. I went and saw him with a couple buddies. It was lit.
Yeah. He's
no.
I listen to his podcast a couple times a week. I don't listen to every show. Some of them even get too deep for me. Just I can't even understand the words you're saying. But I do listen to most of them. And he did one. I can't remember. I would encourage you all to go back maybe a month, probably somewhere around there, on his podcast. And there was one with a dude talking about schooling and education. There's a dude that has started a new school, and it's growing across the country very rapidly. It's pretty much going back to a one-room schoolhouse type feel, and it was very, very, very intriguing. If you have kids, it'll probably catch your eye. I would go listen to that. It made me rethink a lot of things when you go listen to that. So go check that out. I would say it's a month ago. Go read the description or something, and you'll find it. I don't remember the exact name of it, but let me ask you this: do you think a lot of successful podcasters, when I say successful, I mean some of the largest ones, you look at Alex Hormozy, Andy Frisella, Ed Milet. Well, I don't even know about Ed Milet. I would say Andy Frisella and Alex Hormozy, they both have massive podcasts, and I wonder if they're so popular and they're so big because there are so few people of that business magnitude that actually give back to a community for free like they do.
Yeah. So Frisella does, he does 75 Hard. That's his thing?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're doing that.
Yeah.
I have yet to do that. I've actually been very inspired by you doing that. I've got two other people in my life that I've watched go through that program famously. So
yeah, it's
got my eye on you, man.
it's crazy. I haven't been doing much. I haven't posted much about it on Instagram just because I don't want to be like, oh, look at me, look at what we're doing so far. It's not about that. It's not about recognition. Yeah. But I tell you, it really does. We're day 40 is tomorrow. We're over halfway, and it's you look back at where you were in the beginning, and you just realize it makes you realize how much time you waste. I think that's one of my biggest things that I've forgotten out of this is you devote an hour and a half a day to working out. You devote 15 to 20 minutes to reading every day. You realize you have an extra 2 hours in your day. It's just, what are you doing with it? And so that
even with being a new father too.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you do. I mean, and now that's not to say you're going to be able to go to bed at 8 o'clock every night. I'm going to bed at 12:31 every night. I don't remember the last time I went to sleep before 12, but it's just one of those things. It's like you figure out, you just do what works, and you find out what's important to you, and that's the thing. So anyway, yeah, he does setting up hard, but he's also grown like massive supplement companies, First Form, all of that, and so he's grown multi hundreds of millions of dollars in companies. And those shows, like, I can sit there and listen to him talk. He's a little bit of a conspiracy theorist. People get on him about that, but he's very smart. Like, he's not wrong about much. And Hormozy, I love Hormozy. Like, have you ever listened to Alex Hormozy?
I don't. That does not ring a bell.
Oh, you got to check out. If y'all don't listen to Alex Hormozy, you got to check him out. He is he's kind of come on. He's kind of come onto the scene the last like 2 years. He really ramped up his social. He's spending like almost $1 million a year, I think, on his social platforms.
Wait,
just like,
he looks like almost like homeless, right?
Yes, he looks homeless. He always has like a nose strip on. He films in wife beaters. He
keeps coming up in. He's got a phenomenal take on multiple different topics. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alex Hormozy.
Yeah. No, you need to. The podcast is called. His podcast is called The Game. Alex, you can send your compensatory check to Trussville, Alabama. But anyway, his podcast is The Game with Alex Hormozy, and I tell you, like him and his business journey will make you look at your life and be like, dude, what have I done with my life? Like, go listen to it. Go listen to his story. He tells it on a mini. His podcast is unique because it's not just him sitting there like doing this. He takes podcasts that he's been interviewed on and puts them on his show as well. So it's like it's just a bunch of different random people on his show, and he does some solo shows as well. But his knowledge is crazy. It's time tested. He's been doing it for years now. He grew his wealth pretty rapidly, just because he figured something out and learned how to scale it. But I think if you're looking to scale any type of business, you definitely need to look at him and take some advice. So anyway, that's good. I'm glad you had those recommendations. I don't want to go down like just talking about all those people, but it's true. It's like you need to listen to people. These people make me more successful every single day. Like they've helped you.
Yeah, that's the blessing of the time that we live in. I mean, we live in this connected age now where we have access to all of this stuff that our parents didn't.
At the touch of their fingertips.
For us to not take advantage of it would be just
negligent.
Not a slap in the face, but like it's just you got to break free from the zombie Netflixing and the poor dieting and all of these things that are just this humdrum groove that I would say, unfortunately, the majority of the world is going in. They're just falling right in this comfort groove, which is where, comfort's where your dreams go to die. It's if you click on Netflix and spend 2 hours on Netflix, 4 hours, I think that's even like, you could blow 6 hours on Netflix easy in a night. Yeah. You just go, reel one after another. And, it's just dangerous. You got to keep that is all, very addictive technology. Lucy and I were just having this conversation today about cell phones and social media. Our niece, wanted to get on social media, and she's of a certain age that it's kind of like, I don't know if this is like where you should be right now. This is a very adult thing. And so Lucy was telling me this great example of how we're going to relate technology to being a more adult activity. So like if you're, what'd she say? If you're drinking a glass of wine and Henry came up to me and said, hey, can I have a sip of your wine? If I'm on social media and I'm not going to give my son a sip of wine. He's a year and a half old. I'm not going to give my son my phone to look at Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give him a sip of Instagram. More so, if I wanted to have an entire bottle of wine, I'm not going to let my kid be on Instagram scrolling through a very adult world for an hour.
Yeah.
So she just hit me with that today, and I was like, that is my wife. That is the mother of my son. And I very much agree with that. It's just a very slippery slope when you open that door. Getting them back out of that, I think it's just a very there's not been enough research and time and statistics. It's just a huge experiment. I think that, we got cell phones when we were in 2005. What was that? 2005, 6. Yeah. And so we're kind of the first generation that's really being experimented with this like constant barrage of connectivity.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just very, you need to be aware of that. That would be my take on it.
It's very easy to get sucked in. That's literally what it's made for. Like it's made for getting you locked
get sucked
in.
Into consumerism. I mean, think about how many ads, like how many times if something pops up, you're like, oh, I've got, that looks nice to have. You just buy it.
Yep.
And then your feed starts showing you all the related products and all this stuff. It's just this mass. I don't know. I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist when it comes to that stuff about the Americanization and the capitalistic consumerism and all this stuff, and us not being attached to our food sources, and there's no local gardening anymore. It's all mass produced, and I could go on and on.
Yeah, no, there's a whole nother show we could go down doing that. But I don't want to keep you up too late tonight. I know you're already getting close to midnight yourself, so I don't want to keep you up much longer. But dude, that's been an awesome show. We're right at an hour here. I don't want to hold you. Is there any other advice or words of wisdom you would give that we haven't gotten to today?
Man,
I feel like we went pretty deep. We covered a lot.
We did. We went all over the place. Yeah, I think that the world is set up in a way right now that the hardworking will thrive. There are so many people sitting on their butts right now. And so if you go out, there is only so much, there are only so many dollars, there's only so much opportunity, and it feels like the market's saturated.
Yeah.
But it's all not at the same time. There is a lot of work to be done, and there are so many people sleeping on it right now. And so if you can literally just put your feet on the ground, put the distractions aside, and focus on, and good Lord, write your goals down. That was a huge revelation for me. Write your goals down. Have you seen the your goals, your daily goals become this, and then your weekly goals become, your dreams become goals and all this stuff, the progression of that. And then all of a sudden you look back over a year and you've like accomplished your dreams because you literally just one ladder rung at a time. You just did the daily thing. It's kind of like your 75 hard thing.
Yeah.
Did the daily thing that you are like, it's super close to you. But if you can focus on, listing out your goals and focus on like, I think, Buffett, or maybe Warren Buffett said it, but like list out 20 goals and then pick 10 of them and then pick 5 of them and just focus on those 5 because they're the most important, obviously, since you've curated the list, and just accomplish those goals for the year. And you will end up being the person that you, by default, if you just do those 5 things for the year, you have to turn into the person that you've been dreaming about. Hope that made sense. Yeah. Write your goals down and go after them, because there's so many people that are just not, and there's so much opportunity out there.
The opportunity is endless, and self-development starts with you. You have to make your own decision to change your life and to change your future. That's what we're trying to do here on the show all the time, is just bring value, bring good guests on like Jamie, who is running a great landscaping company, but is also giving back, doing interviews like this, and really helping people out there. So, Jamie, we really appreciate you coming on tonight. Where can everybody follow and connect with you on Instagram or other socials if they would like to catch up?
Yeah, we're primarily just on Instagram and Supreme Scapes.
Supreme Scapes on Instagram. Go check that out. Shoot him a DM. Jamie does a good job of posting on there, keeping everybody updated, which is fantastic. We love that. I love catching up with everybody around the country, seeing what everybody's got going on. It just makes me feel like, hey, like we said, I'm not alone, that I'm not the only one out there going through it. Everybody else is going through struggles and trials, but everybody else is also winning. And so when you see other people win, it makes you want to win, it makes you want to work harder. And that's what I benefit the most out of social, is like just getting to be around other people who are like-minded, wanting to learn and grow, and just learn along the way. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the show today. If you did enjoy it, leave it a big 5-star rating and review. Those always help us, like we say here on the show. It just gets us out there so we can continue to grow the community one relationship at a time. But thanks to Jamie for coming on tonight, man. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch up with everybody here on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Growing Green podcast. It is an honor to have you listening, and we hope you receive valuable advice to help take your business to the next level. Don't forget to follow the podcast so you'll be notified when our next episode drops.